It's time to get out and run. And we're hoping you take the Run Iron Mountain Road and Trail Half Marathon podcast with you. Join race director Joe Smith as he shares with you what makes the community of Iron Mountain and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan so welcoming to runners and visitors. Race talk, local business conversations with our sponsors, chat time with running experts, and maybe even a celebrity or two. All here on the Run Iron Mountain Road and Trail podcast. Race day is September 25th, but the show starts now.
And here we go again for another episode of the Run Iron Mountain Half Marathon podcast. And we want to thank our sponsors and our platinum sponsors this year, Sue Varda Catlin, the Mariucci Family Foundation, CCI Systems, John Fernetti Dental Center, and our gold sponsors, First National Bank and Trust, Champion Inc., MJ Electric, All Orthodontics, Baco, Fleury Singler and Company, Power Sports, Family Chiropractic Clinic, Lakeshore Systems, Boss Snowplow, Edwards Automotive, and Liuna Local 1329, all sponsoring the race this year, along with so many others doing things in some special ways. But we have a special guest today, and we have been focusing this race on a charity, a local charity for quite a while now, and that's been our Cancer Loan Closet. And so Diane Schabo, the president of the Cancer Loan Closet, is good enough to come join us today on the podcast. Diane, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here, Joe.
Absolutely.
It's always fun to talk to you, and when we start getting close to the race, the half marathon, it's really near and dear to most of us over there at the Loan Closet.
Yeah, and we, like you said, we've spoken a couple times throughout the years, and interestingly enough, as many times as we've spoken, people don't know as much as I'd like them to know about the Cancer Loan Closet. So
it's true.
Just tell us a little bit about that. What do you guys provide over there?
Sure. Well, it began in 2000 by two women, Ruth Weber and Lorraine Luba. And it was kind of under the Cancer Society at that time. Well, then the Cancer Society moved out of the area. They had equipment, and both Lorraine and Ruth wanted to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
So it started out of Ruth's home. That's how it first began. And little by little, it grew, and
So
a local business.
I'll interrupt you real quick, but when it starts out of her home, did she have equipment that she would just lend out or
just
loan?
lend out people, cancer clients, and that's where it started, and that's where we still truly concentrate on our cancer clients, although we do help others. So that's just the broad beginning.
Sure.
And the one company that gave us free rent on a facility needed their space back. They were expanding, so we ended up having to buy a place. So now we're just up on Brighting Avenue, across from Grady Foundry. And for those in the local area that are familiar with Pizza Oven, we're just up from Pizza Oven.
Gotcha.
So that's where we're located.
And for those that aren't familiar with the area, it's in Kingsford, and it's on
in
Brighting
Kingsford
Avenue, is it?
We're not hard to find. Big sign out front. And what we try to concentrate on, if you are a cancer client, we try to help with as many different areas of your treatments as possible. So we will offer, and this is all free of charge. There's no cost. We don't go by income. It's by need.
Wow.
So we will provide all types of equipment, walkers, did do hospital beds, but not any longer because we don't have the space. But we'll do commodes, we do shower chairs, we do knee walkers. We help in a lot of different ways. If you're a cancer client and you need incontinence supplies, we each month we'll give a cancer client 2 packages of incontinence supplies, like the pull-ups, and packages of the guards for men. If they have problems eating, and many do, We provide insure, and each cancer client, some may need it, some not so much, but if you do need it, we will give you 2 cases of insure a month.
Wow.
And we have strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate.
Wow.
And it's amazing how many do need that.
I was going to say, how many people do you end up seeing in
Well,
a week?
I just today went through and was looking to see how many cancer clients we had. And it's kind of hard to distinguish that right now because of the pandemic from last year, because we were closed for so long.
Right.
And then what we did is, because we all felt so bad not being able to help our cancer clients, number of us said we were still going to come in. We would still be there. So 2 days a week, I was one of them, and basically our board took over. And we were there just for cancer clients. And we would have like from, if your last name was from A through M, whatever, you came on a Tuesday, and then those towards the end of the alphabet came on Thursday. And we would help with any of our insure products, our incontinence supplies. And the other thing too is we help with cancer-related drugs.
Okay.
So if someone needed help with that, we have that's available.
So you stayed open through the pandemic.
We tried.
Yeah. Wow.
When everything was mandated closed, we were closed at the beginning, and then they were kind of, if you were one of those, I wouldn't call us emergency, but one of those organizations or businesses that was helpful. We opened up for that.
Oh, that's great.
And because we had folks too, cancer clients going out of town for doctor's appointments, we reimbursed them for mileage. So that was a really big help to these cancer clients.
Sure.
So we wanted to be there for that.
Outstanding. Diane Schabo, the president of the Cancer Loan Closet, here with us today. And Diane, you had mentioned a lot of services that you guys provide. And there's also a financial piece, right? The financial assistance you talked about. And honestly, cancer hit close to home in our family this year. And the perspective, once that happens, it just naturally changes. And the amount of travel and different things that I know the local community has to go through, depending on the types of cancer you have, down to Green Bay and Milwaukee. Do you see a lot of that? And just quickly, how do someone get a hold of you and qualify for that?
Yeah, if in fact, I just had a gal come in today who needed to have radiation, and she was having that done in Marinette. And so to start somebody off, before they have become one of our clients, they fill out a financial aid form. And all that form really does is it gives us general information, names and addresses, diagnosis, minor things, but where we can contact you. And then you take this form with you when you go to see your oncologist, and they will fill out the bottom portion. Then that comes back to us. You bring that back into us. We do up a file for you. And then whatever you need, if you need incontinence supplies, or if you need insure, or if it's just you're having to travel many times. Right. The gal today said 21 times now she's going to be going.
Sure. I believe it.
We will help with your mileage, which is a big
huge
thing for folks.
Yeah. Wow, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Diane, you've been part of this organization for quite a while.
12 years.
How did you get involved?
My husband had cancer.
Okay.
And he had a rare form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And at that time, I had no clue that the loan closet was even here. And I found out when a physical therapist from the hospital recommended that he get a wheelchair. And I said, oh, golly, I have a wheelchair now. And they said, no. There's the cancer loan closet.
Well, yes.
And so he told me a little bit about it. And I went in and I talked to a gentleman, one of the volunteers, and he gave me the wheelchair. And it wasn't much after that my husband passed away. And I just thought, I think I would really like to volunteer for something like this, because like you were just saying, when it involves your family,
Right.
you take on a whole new perspective of that issue.
Right.
And that's how I started.
Yeah,
And my sister now, she's part of it. My brother-in-law is, and I'm sure we have now 20 volunteers, and I'm sure all of them in one way or another have been affected by cancer, whether it be a friend, a family member, whatever.
Yeah.
Or themselves. And
Yep.
I myself had thyroid cancer. So most of our volunteers in one way or another have had cancer.
Wow. So your story is inspiring. And even the amount of people, when you go through something like this, that just reach out and want to help in their own ways. I want to make sure that everybody that's listening knows they can also help out through your organization. You're looking for volunteers all the time, correct?
Absolutely.
What do they do as a volunteer? Are there different things?
Well, and we have just recently lost about 4 volunteers. A couple moved away.
Okay.
One had other things going on. One had medical issues. And one was just getting up there in years and said, I think I can, break. Yeah, I think I need to, take a break. But if folks are interested, I mean, especially in the fall and the winter when we lose our snowbirds,
Gotcha.
when folks come in and they want to volunteer, well, it's just a 2-hour shift. You can either volunteer from 10 until noon or from noon until 2. Or if you want more than that, we're more than happy to put you on the schedule more often. I found that out, and I've been getting it myself right now. But it's I wouldn't call it a job. It's not a job.
Right.
But it's something that those of us that do this type of volunteer work come home feeling so much better. I mean, even with the worst cases that you deal with in the course of a day, and we deal with some awful ones sometimes, but it leaves you with a sense of worth, self-worth.
I bet.
And you've helped somebody.
I bet.
And that's basically, what you do. Yeah. You help people. You help them with equipment. You might help them fill out a form. Sometimes people will come in and just want to talk.
Just want to talk. I was going to say, I bet you get that.
And we can pretty much understand where they're coming from because we've been there and done that.
Yeah. So the Cancer Loan Closet, Monday through Friday, the doors are open 10 a.m. to 2.
10 to 2.
The phone number is 906-776-0966. And you can look that all up on their website as well, or you can email them at cancercloset@gmail.com. So tons of ways to get a hold of you. Do you have, you kind of started touching on those things that actually, as a volunteer and as a part of this organization, make you keep going back every day? Are there anything specific, or is it just really a general feeling?
I had a guy, I don't know who I even worked with that day, but a gentleman came in and he was probably, I would guess him to be probably in his mid 50s. And he came in and he had tears in his eyes and he said, I don't know where else I can go for help. And he had cancer. His treatment was in Minnesota. Now, he didn't mention at the time whether it was Mayo. I'm assuming it was. When he mentioned University of Minnesota, and I know they're over in Mayo too. And he said, I don't have any more money. And he said, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my house. Well, and we, through donations that we have accumulated through the years, and one of them was the half marathon.
Okay, good.
And through a couple other agencies that donated to us, we had a catastrophic fund. And we use that for cases like this man.
Wow, nice.
And when we said, we'll help you best we can with your transportation. We don't put you up in motels, but if we can pay for your gas, that was a big issue for him.
Sure.
And then we had another one, and this man too, I felt horrible for. He had to go to Wausau for treatments,
Okay.
and he had no money. And he said, I have to borrow money from my neighbor for gas just to get to Wausau
For treatment.
treatment.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's things like that that makes you think, first of all, I'm really fortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can go home and I can come back tomorrow.
Right.
Somebody like this, they don't know where their next nickel or dime is coming from. They're in a horrible state mentally and
Mhm.
physically. And, when we're able to help them, this man sent us a thank you card
Mhm.
later. And actually, my partner today at the loan closet said, I don't know if we're saving these thank you cards, but we really should.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you're exactly right. I'll
Mm-hmm.
have to check with the office manager. She may be keeping all these, but it's just things like that
Yeah.
where you help somebody and you didn't know you helped them. And
Absolutely.
I would have given them money myself,
So that's what I was going to mention. So, there's superpowers that you're providing
Right.
the community through your giving and your team, and
Absolutely.
what the county, the loan closet is doing is remarkable. And then the stories you hear, even when he mentioned my neighbor was giving me the money.
That's right.
Those are some of the things that I
Yes.
just noticed, where these people you would never expect to even check in
That's
are
right.
checking in. So it's really these volunteer organizations, family, friends, neighbors that step up and
Yes.
surprise you. So you had mentioned that catastrophic fund and the fact that different organizations like ours
Yes.
provide those funds to be available for those stories you're saying. So I would just say this is our one sponsor, our charity we're giving to this year. And so please, if you're thinking about running, come and run. You can walk
Please.
it. It's a half
Please.
marathon. We have a half marathon relay with 3 people, which really is just a 3 mile or so, depending on which leg you do. And then we also have the mini Moochathon, which Steve Mariucci likes to coin, but that's a 5K as well. So we've pared down the events this year a little bit, just not knowing what was going to happen after the pandemic and not doing our race last year. So we do want to make it big this year to make up for what we weren't able to give you the year before. So you heard the stories. It's very impactful. All our money this year going right to Diane and the Cancer Loan Closet, and we're always happy to do it. And so are our sponsors. So far, I got to tell you, Diane, the sponsors have stepped up again.
That's wonderful.
Full business, and now it's just a matter of continuing to get people to come and enjoy the day. And I'm going to get on the soapbox a little bit because we're partnered with downtown Iron Mountain this year again with Oktoberfest. So if you run the half marathon, if you are a relay member on a team, you walk right from our race through the finish line, you celebrate, and you go into Oktoberfest and have even a beverage of your choice on us. So, and your race fees are going towards this great charity. So I'm really encouraged on where we're at, but time's ticking. September 25th is that race. Go to runironmountain.com to sign up. And you can do that. And of course, email us any questions. Looking for volunteers, just like Diane is, of course, for the race. We have water stations.
And we're volunteering too.
Always there, and we appreciate that. All kinds of things to do. And if you're just not going to run or you don't run, just come on down and cheer everybody on. So excited about the race. I got that plug in there for the race. I was thinking of your organization, and you even kind of mentioned it a bit on the way in. What about are there misconceptions with your group and who they're affiliated with or tied with, the American Cancer Society, and different things that, you have the opportunity to clear some of that up? Because whenever I bring up your organization, there are questions.
Yes.
What can they do for me or somebody I know, and how are they affiliated and with who? And so what do you got?
And one thing that we do too, when folks come in, and we're not affiliated at all with the American Cancer Society.
Okay.
All the donation money that comes in from you folks or the little girl down the street with her lemonade stand, whatever it happens to be, and we've had all kinds come in.
You mentioned it, so I bet that's happened, huh?
That's right. Everything that comes in goes back out. None of our volunteers, including me, are paid.
Wow.
We have a small amount for, our utilities and office supplies, postage. The majority of our equipment has been donated. We take, it has to be in good working order for us to accept equipment,
Sure.
but we're more than happy to take it. So, with our organization, whatever you're giving us is going back out to help others. There
Absolutely.
isn't, a CEO that's getting $250,000 or,
right.
little plane trips here and there. Everything is going back out.
That's wonderful.
And our volunteers, they come in when they're needed. It doesn't matter, what's going on. A lot of times, if we're shorthanded, they'll stop what they're doing at home and come in.
You're part of a great organization. And one thing, I don't know if we mentioned it, but I did see on the webpage, even prescriptions
Yes.
are covered as well.
Yes, we have a list of a number of cancer-related drugs that we will cover. Usually, if someone has insurance, it's covered by their insurance. But if it's not, we will cover it.
Deductibles and things like that?
Yes.
Wow. Is there a limit up to?
Yes. What happens is a year now, for 1 year, if you're a cancer patient, you're allotted $750 for mileage to and from doctor's appointments. If your doctor is, when you mentioned Green Bay, that's about $40 round trip. There are a number of people go to Froder down in Milwaukee. That's $70. Same with Mayo, $70. We also have a $500 a year, and they call it special needs, and that's our prescriptions.
Okay.
So if you need a prescription, you have $500. Now, if you have a really extenuating circumstance to your treatment, it depends. If you need more prescription, we can slide some from your transportation to your prescription or vice versa. If you need more for transportation, I had someone that had 40-some trips to Green Bay for radiation.
All right.
So, we can slide some from if you don't need prescriptions, but you need the travel, we can slide that over.
Amazing. Well, very good. Everything you do seems to be impactful for those that I talk to. Diane, I just want to thank you again. It's such a pleasure having you part of this race, and the money goes there locally, and I think it's a unique organization, right?
And the one thing that we like is my volunteers usually work the roads, so where they're stopping the traffic so the runners can come through. And when the runners come, it's amazing. I love these people. I mean, there's those that are serious runners. There's those who are going to try and run, and they might walk a little bit. There's those that have babies in strollers.
Right. Fun weekend.
I remember that 1 year there were I believe they were National Guard with this big log that they were, so it's just a fun day for everybody.
It is.
Whether you volunteer, whether you run, whether you're just standing there watching, whether you're going to go and have a brew later.
That's right. Celebrate.
It's a good community activity for everybody.
It is, and we have some surprises this year and some not. We'll have, Dr. John Fernetti is going to have a smile mile, so he's going to be taking pictures of your smiling teeth as you go by and come back, and we might even have some bands and different things on the side encouraging runners. So we're getting fired up. So I think, Diane, I'm Joe Smith, and Run Iron Mountain. We want you to sign up. So come to www.runironmountain.com and get involved with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Diane.